Good morning, evening, afternoon, or night, depending on when you're watching this. This is Jeff Clark, the Gadget Guy. Today is Tuesday, December 29th, 2009, which of course means it's time for another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. Now, if you've been watching Tech Tip for a few months, you know that the last Tuesday of every month is dedicated specifically to the iPhone. Well, today we're going to incorporate the iPhone, but we're going to steer a little bit clear of that because today is also the last Tuesday of 2009. Which means that by now, we're all starting to mentally, at least, put together what our New Year's resolutions are going to be. Now, most of the time, we have that same New Year's resolution to eat healthier and lose some weight. But this year, I think a lot of people are going to start thinking about their finances. Because let's face it, it's been a difficult couple of years here, and especially 2009 seems to have really been tough financially for just about everybody. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about a tool that is both available on the iPhone as well as the internet, that will help you organize your finances a little bit better. And that tool is called Mint. Now you can check out Mint at www.mint.com. That's MINT.com. And what Mint does is it brings together all of your different financial institutions into one central location. So for example, if you've got a checking account and a savings account, maybe you have an ING account, you plug in the information to that for each of those accounts into Mint, and it now downloads the information straight from those websites, and now I can see my account balances with each of my different types of banks. I can see, how much I've got in my checking, how much I've got in my savings, how much I've got in my ING. But it also does it with my credit cards, my car payment, and my mortgage. It brings those together so that I can see what my bills are going to be as well. So I can see the money that I have, and I can see the bills that I have, which sometimes, to be honest with you, is a little bit depressing. And it brings them all into one location so that I can become a little bit more organized. But what I think Mint.com is the most useful for, and where I think it really shines, is in its budgeting feature. When I set up my Mint.com account, it gave me the option to set up a budget where I could say, okay, I don't want to spend any more than $20 a month on fast food. I don't want to spend any more than $150 a month on gas, because I do a lot of driving. And I don't want to spend any more than $30 a month on technology-related stuff. Well, when I set each of those criteria up in Mint, one of the neat things that Mint does, because it ties in with my bank account, is it tracks where I do my spending. Because let's face it, a lot of times those little $5 and $10 purchases, we don't put into the checkbook and balance it like we should. Mint.com takes care of that for you, and it categorizes each of your spending items. So for example, if I go to Sunoco and I put $40 worth of gas into my tank, it's going to track that, and it's going to say, okay, this goes towards automobile expenses. The same if I go to Pep Boys or something like that. It puts that into the category of automobile expenses. If I go to the grocery store, it's going to track that I went to the grocery store. Fast food, it's going to categorize that as fast food. And what's neat is I can set up thresholds in there. And I can say if I spend more than $20 a month on fast food, I want to know about it. And so what Mint.com does is it shoots me an email, or I can even have it set up to send me a text message on my phone that tells me that I've approached that spending limit that I've set in my budget. I can also set it up with my bank accounts so that if my checking account gets below a certain threshold, Mint.com is going to notify me, hey, Jeff, you're below, say, $300 in your account. So either you got to transfer some from your savings or you got to stop spending altogether because you're below that safety limit that you've set for yourself. Mint.com has been it's been a lifesaver for me in these last few months as I'm trying to become more organized, and I'm really hoping to get to use it more in 2010. Now, I mentioned that this is not just online at Mint.com, but there's also a Mint application for the iPhone that does the same thing. It brings together all your, all those little charts and graphs that I talked about, and it organizes them on your iPhone. So it's extremely easy to read, extremely easy to understand, and it's really set up to be used by just about anybody. Trust me, if I can set up a budget on Mint.com, anybody can set up a budget on Mint.com. So what I encourage you to do is to go check it out, especially on the website first. So go to www.mint.com. Now, just like anything else that I talk about, I want you to do your research on each one of my subjects. Mint is something that truthfully can be a little bit scary because you are giving them a lot of information. You're giving them your credit card numbers and you're giving them your account, login and passwords. But I want to encourage you to do your research on Mint, because what you're going to find is that Mint is not just some fly-by-night company. I've actually, embarrassingly enough, had a Mint.com account for over 2 years, but I just recently started using it. But Mint has been featured in magazines or in newspapers such as the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Business Week has talked about it. A variety of different websites have talked about Mint.com. In fact, there was even talk about Microsoft possibly buying Mint to replace Microsoft Money, which they just discontinued. Mint is not a fly-by-night company. They're not just some obscure company. They really are a reputable company. They also use the same level of security for the internet that you do for online banking, so you can always be assured that your accounts are going to be very secure there. But again, do your own research on it first. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Now, Mint.com, that's been my tech tip. Now, I need to ask you guys for a little bit of help. In 2010, my other goal is to build Tech Tip Tuesday's distribution list. So I really need you right now to dig into your database of friends and family members. And if you are getting any benefits from these tech tips, please forward this on to them so that hopefully they'll sign up and be part of my distribution list as well. Because my goal for 2010 is to really grow Tech Tip Tuesday, hopefully grow the technology a little bit better and make it a little bit more than just talking to you from my cubicle or my car or outside. I'd love to actually set up a little studio for Tech Tip Tuesday, but I'd also like to be able to bring you more content and better the website. But in order to do that, I am going to need to have more people following me so I can get more, sponsors and that kind of stuff. So I do ask that you forward this on to any friends or family members that you have that you think might get a kick out of this. Also, if this is the first time you're watching this, if you're on the website right now, if you look over to the, this is my left, so it'll be your right, there is an option to subscribe there, or if you got this in the form of an email, at the bottom of the email, there's the ability to subscribe to my tech tips as well. So if you're getting some use out of this, and this is the first time you're seeing this, please do subscribe to Tech Tip Tuesday, and I'll make sure that I put you on my distribution list. Also, if you have any questions or comments, your feedback is another thing that, that is just invaluable to me. There's just no putting a price on the feedback that I get from you guys. So if you have any feedback or comments or questions for that matter, please send me an email at jeff@techtiptuesday.com, and I'll be sure to take to heart whatever you say. Also, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, or maybe you need a little bit of a tech tip yourself on the side. We can set up something where we can communicate a little bit better, maybe over the phone, and I can help you with that kind of stuff as well. That is something I do on the side. So please forward this on. If you're seeing this for the first time, please subscribe. I really, really appreciate you guys watching all these last few months as we've been doing these tech tips, and I am anxious to see what 2010 is going to bring. So until next year, everybody, this is Jeff Clark, your gadget guy, putting another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday in the can. Have a good week, everybody, and have a great, great new year. Talk to you next year. Bye-bye.